One thing I have come to learn as I've gotten older is that relationships are not hard and relationships are not easy. But at the same time, and most of all, relationships are not hard. You sit here and you're young, right? And depending on how you were raised, depending on how life was, depending on many things in your life while you're being young, either there's things you don't know. Some people are lucky enough to have older people in their side, teach them, and they'll listen, or they go out here and figure it out on their own, right? And I remember, and I always said how one elder once said to me, the relationship's not hard, they just flow. You just go with the flow of the relationship. You don't have all these problems and these hang-ups and these arguments. It ain't there if you're doing all that. And I felt what they were saying then, but it just in time took it to hit for me. And that goes on multiple levels of flow, right? Because I looked at my own life, because that's what I do, as well as TV life, because hey, why not? And what I see is the absolute truth in that goddamn quote. Relationships are not hard. It only gets hard when you don't know yourself, when you are not self reflective, when you're not paying attention to what kind of person, partner, or reflection, because that's what a relationship is. It's a mirror of yourself when you choose to have a relationship. What is this mirror of you being presented in this relationship? And that right there is the beginning of how you conduct and have relationships. Oh shit. That is the beginning. I hope y'all heard that. Of how you conduct and have relationships moving forward. What is this relationship reflecting? What is the mirror that I'm looking at in this relationship? What is the mirror that I'm looking at in this relationship? That's what you're doing. That's what you're saying to yourself. That's what you're asking yourself when you're in a relationship. What insecurities come out with me when I'm with this person? What are my secrets that I tell? What are my secrets that I hide? What are the things in this relationship that it makes me reflect about that I don't like thinking about when I'm in this relationship? What is the anger? What is the sadness? What is the rage that I go through in this relationship? All these different things. You know, y'all sit here and y'all can rage on about black women or women in general and who they choose and what they choose and this and that. But what everybody is missing is you got to look at that person that they're choosing. You got to look at that person that they're with because that's telling you who they are. Got to look at that. If your auntie is with this perverted nigga, uncle, then your aunt is a pervert. Your aunt is a pedo. If your mother is with that, then your mother is. So you got to look at it that way. See, they didn't come together for no reason. Ain't nobody just controlling nobody. And it goes on the other side too, because I hear women with their male cousins and be going off about, since he been with this woman, he been like this, and since he been with this woman, he been like that. And I'm like, this is who your cousin is, because he's still been with this woman, right? They still together, right? So then this is a reflection of who the cousin is. Okay. Yeah. So here, these songs, you should let me love you, and this person's abusing this person, and they want to be with them. Let me tell you, to that person who's writing those songs, when you go and be with that person who being abused, I guarantee you gonna find out why. Because guaranteed you're gonna end up coming outside yourself and be abusive in a way that you've never been in your entire life, because you came across this person in your world. But you have to understand and look at the entire picture. I understand this world, there's a drought in the dating world. I understand that you can have feelings and stuff, but I'm here to tell you, feelings come and go. They come and they go. Because when there's something that you feel, or you really inside your heart know that you really need from that person in your life, it's a different kind of feeling. It ain't the butterflies in your stomach feeling. It ain't that pull cord in your body. It ain't that body cord feeling and all that shit. I stay away from those feelings. Those are the most karmic, lessened, filled feelings that's going to leave you broken and hurt at the fucking end. But that's just me. But that's what I have come to see about having a relationship. Those emotions, those things, they come later. They come down the line. Like, it's like a knowing inside yourself. Like, I know I want to be with you. I know this is where I want to be. I know this is what I like and who I like and how I'm gonna make it. I know. That's how it feels. It ain't all this extra shit. All that extra shit, it comes later. It comes later. I promise you. Here's another thing to note. When y'all sit here and y'all see, because this is the biggest argument, black women don't choose smart. Black women, the men, the black women are choosing. It goes on and on and on. Even though we see women of Hispanic and Latin culture that be with doing the same shit with dudes in prison and all this, that, and the third, and but that's another topic. We have women, because I'm making this a broad topic. This is not just a race topic. We have women that, I'll put it like this. They go for a significant type of quote unquote bad boy, right? That's what they say. I like a bad boy. I like a certain kind of bad boy. That's their argument, right? Well, well. Okay. Um, the thing about that is, this bad boy, air quote, is often in prison. The thing about that, air quote, is this bad boy is often somebody in run-ins with rebellion in the law, right? We're going to use this example. This is going to be a good one. And what does she have? She has a degree. She's taken herself through college. She may have attended a good school, right? meaning that she may have done all the rules. But why would a woman, this is why you got to go deeper. Well, why would a woman with that type of credential still want that? First of all, let me say something. A degree has nothing to do with your status of life. A lot of people in the hood get degrees. A lot of people in the ghettos get degrees, especially in the city. Those opportunities are right there for you. There's programs right there for you. There's grants and stuff right there for you. So that's not really nothing too special. But for somebody in the hood, yes, it's special to have a degree. I mean, just anywhere, it's a good thing to have a degree. I'm not trying to downplay it. But the point is, why would a woman with a degree be with a guy that's in prison, right? Doing structure, doing it the right way versus someone out here that is being rebellious, right? Well, there's something in that woman that is rebellious, that is breaking the rules, or that wants to break the rules, or there's something in her that has a stereotypical mindset of someone from that type of environment, and they want to be the one to low key or subconsciously save them or control them. See, it's two things. I saw this woman, she came from the church, because we're going to get to this part, the people from certain religious spaces and stuff dating outside of that. She came from the church. It was on Love After Lockup show. And she goes and she has this father who's a pastor, mother, just you could tell she's been in the church all her life. And she goes and date this guy. And I think his family come to church or went to church, but I don't think he so much, we don't, if you look at him, I don't really think he's no Christian or nothing like that. But she was so aggravating to this man, so demanding to this man who had just came out of prison, and he did some time, okay? Hard time, all right? And I'm saying to myself, if you wanted all of this, why didn't you just go in your church and just get somebody in your church to be married to? Hold on. I think, oh, hi, Sun Kiss Beauty. I think having a degree simply gets you through the door. Certain jobs you cannot get without having the degree. Yes, very true. I mean, even certifications. Certain jobs, certifications are key, you know? You can become some jobs will train you on the job to get certifications. And when it comes to degrees, yes, the same thing. You can go to school for free online. I've been telling people this for a long time. There's free courses online across seas anywhere. Japan, the only people who don't give it to American people are Chinese. They're the only one who give Chinese course. Other than that, Japan, um, the Netherlands, all over the place, they give free courses. But yes, that's true, Sun Kiss Beauty. All right, let's go. So this woman was aggravating the hell out of this man who just came out of prison, and she's this quote unquote Christian woman. And I'm just like, well, why don't you just date your own? Well, people, understand something about people. Who somebody date is telling you who they are. Okay? That's what I've learned in my older age. Okay? Like, who somebody dates is telling you who they are. I feel like this. One thing I can say about with the Nubians is Nubians dated other Nubians. Okay? And dated other people who were spiritual. They didn't have to be Nubian, but they were spiritual people and they dated them. They didn't date other than. I also noticed with them, they dated other people who were polyamorous as well. They dated within the circle of their community. Whatever it is. Hold on. Let me see so I can read this. But I agree. Christian women tend to gravitate towards godless men. I think they suffer from control issues, saying this as a preacher's daughter. Church women were always crying my dad about men. Okay, that's it. Okay. I'm on another device, so I'm moving kind of slow. I don't know what godless means. Does it just mean that I don't believe in your religion? it's that quote godless. Like, so I'm godless because I don't believe in what your religion is or what you perceive God to be. And I'm not trying to go down that rabbit hole. I'm just saying, like, just the fact that you said that confirms that y'all need to go date your own. There's a lot of people who grew up in the church. There's actually a lot of spiritual people who have grown up in the church. But the people who grew up in the church need to be with other people who grew up in the church. That's what the spiritual people do. I knew somebody in the Ansar community, the Ansar Allah community. And guess what they did in the Ansar Allah community? They end up dating and marrying, well, was marrying the daughter of one of the head people of the Ansar community. That makes sense. They have their own counseling there with this couple, with this husband and wife couple. They have like so much stuff going on that they help the people in their community. That makes sense. But my point is, like, people who go outside of themselves to date, they're telling you who they are. And I feel like that ideology of this woman I'm talking about, the way she talks and treats this dude, I'm just like, girl, you asking him to do shit like he's been free and he's been out here, he's been in jail. You're abusing someone who's been helpless, who the system had to tell him when to wake up, when to go to sleep, when to go to bed, when to turn the lights off, and other things in between if you don't know nothing. And then it's like, you don't even know nothing about the life of people from the streets in or jail. And you ask yourself, how do these chicks who don't even come from this life end up being there? Number one, I'm going to tell you this. Most guys from the streets or that hood lifestyle oftentimes want to be with a woman like that. They want to be with a woman. I'm not religious and I do not date black men, so that would not apply to me. Godless as in having no direction or purpose spiritually. That's not going down a rabbit hole for simply stating that. Okay, I get what you're saying. Now I see the comment. Okay, don't go nowhere. Now I see your comment. Okay. And I wasn't attacking you. I'm speaking in general. So I'm not, when I said that, that wasn't no attack on you, Sunkissed Duty. That was a speak in general from inside of whoever's listening. Okay. Now I get what you're saying. Okay, I got it. Now, that's fine. I wasn't even going down the path of dating black males. I promise you, it wasn't. It's just in general of speaking spiritually of people who attract who they attract. Even the women who attract the black males tell you who they are. Okay, we see it on Love After Lockup all the time. Okay, now let's get back to that. These men attract these kind of women because they want some kind of groundedness. They want some kind of see the hood chick, right? The one thing about her is after a while she gonna cheat on you too. Okay. I mean, nobody gonna want to talk about, but the hood chick gonna cheat on you too. Okay. The hood chick is going to break him down. Okay. And it's just be so much stuff. Okay, no, I'm on my lunch break. I can't even see the damn comment. I take it's my lunch break, so I can't respond much. Enjoy your content with you. Oh, it's cool. I mean, it ain't taking shit personal up here. I'm on a microphone. You a stranger out there where you at. I'm a stranger where I'm at. It ain't that serious, okay? It ain't that serious. Okay. Let's go. So some of them do seek those kind of women. That's why they don't want the hood woman, because some of them even tell you that the hood chick is easy. They will actually say it's very easy to be with a chick from a hood versus a chick that does not, a woman who does not come from where they come from. Okay. And I understand that. So the whole opposites attract is deeper than what people make it. It's not that they're completely opposite. there's something in the opposition where they both can grow together, that they both appreciate each other. You get what I'm saying? Now, let's get back into the dating world in life. I've learned that relationships are not hard. I'm repeating that again. Relationships are not hard. The relationship with yourself is the harder part. That's the point. These women have not sat down and had a real relationship with themselves. Why are you choosing to be with a male who is not from the same background as you? Why are you choosing to be with a male who is not as educated as you? Right? You got to start asking yourself these things. I'm a music artist. I just do music. I'm an artist, not just I'm an artist, okay? And I'm very creative. So I do a lot of things. I'm a mixed media music artist, okay? So not mixed media music, a mixed media artist, right? Mixed media meaning I paint, I sketch, I paint over pictures. I just like sort of like what you see with Basquiat. That's a mixed media artist. You know, you saw him sketching in his notebook. You saw him painting something. You saw him drawing something. You saw him making his Basquiat symbol with the crown and everything. And you seen the art. Like that's kind of like that's what my style of artistry is, right? As well as instruments and all these things and songwriting and right? And I'm with somebody who is grounded, who is very like they don't do what I do. You know what I'm saying? They don't do what I do. But at the same time, I like the idea of separating the two. I like the idea of I can come over here and do this and be this over here with you and I don't have to mix this. And I realized why I did that because I felt like I had to split myself so much in the relationship I had years ago. Damn, when I think about how many years ago that relationship was, that's something. When I had to split so much of myself and when I had to be made to feel like I was going to split myself and stuff like that, it turns into me realizing that I'm kind of still projecting that in my current relationship. And then I had to look at someone else that I was talking to and how much of them and me had a lot in common as far as being Black alternative women. And I realized in that moment about myself, not in that moment, but in time, it started showing me something about myself. And that was that I felt like being an artist and being with another artist is going to cause conflict, right? Not competition, but conflict because I know how artists can be. I know how artists can wear their heart on their sleeves. I know how cold an artist can be. I know how flittery artists can be. You see, I know artists. You see what I'm saying? And I feel like once I can see that flighty, dreamy artist energy in somebody, I take flight because I know what comes with it. You get what I'm saying? Those who are artists, you know what I'm talking about. I just take flight. I just be like, pew. Word. I just be like, pew. I ain't with it. Okay? I ain't with it. So it be that part. Then um damn, I gotta text somebody real quick and okay. I knew my internet wasn't out. I think it's just kind of flickering out. Anyway, I want to take it off of me. It's not that deep, people. Okay? Unless you're a therapist and a psychologist and you want to go that deep with these people. But I'm here to tell you, it's not that deep. Oh, I forgot about my flowers. Oh, I so forgot about my flowers. Oh, my roses. Oh, I gotta put these in water. I have to put these in water. My bad, y'all. I got these roses and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to clip them and just toss them in water to make some rose water. And I sit here and I'm telling y'all that when you look at the person who's dating the person, that is your answer of who they are. If she's dating a thug, that's telling you her personality. That's telling you about who she is. Okay? Thugs don't give a fuck. Thugs don't give a fuck about life or death. Okay? Thugs don't live long. Everybody want to talk about thugs. Y'all don't know what a thug is. A thug does not fucking live long. And thugs break down. Thugs emotionally break down, as a matter of fact. Okay? So there's something in her. And a lot of times, people who get close to thugs realize how sad and emotional they are. So if she's dating a thug, there's a dark, sad, emotional part of herself that's breaking down that she needs to deal with, or he needs to deal with, right? Because I don't want to make this a gender thing. I want to make this about people dating people. But the reason it turned into a gender thing is because I constantly have to hear, well, black women, it's who black women are choosing. And I just be like, ugh, slap my goddamn forehead. Just slap my forehead. Because do y'all like after a certain age and time, you should have this stuff figured out. Because why? You should have you figured out. That's why. This stuff should be figured out because you should be figured out. It's just that simple. Once you have figured you out, everything else will fall in line in your life. Once you can sit here and be in a relationship and you can admit your insecurities, when you can be in a relationship and admit that you are afraid, and admit to your own flaws to yourself, that's a step. That's the beginning of your self elevation, your self growth, and the beginning of you discovering thyself, as they say. 1 second, headphone users. Gotta feed my kid. Okay. So let's keep going. If you are still well past 35, I'll give you 35, past 35. And you are still having conversations, and I mean this shit. And you are still going back and forth in conversations about who ain't doing what and who ain't doing what and why they ain't doing what in a relationship. And you that age and older, you got a lot of growing up to do. You got a lot more self-reflection to do. Okay? I mean, a lot more self-reflection to do. When you are sitting here and you are literally, and I mean literally, not understanding and accusatory about, oh, it's who these women are choosing, and oh, it's who these people are choosing, and then they get mad about who they choosing. You got a lot of growing to do. They're choosing themselves. And we just deal with universal laws. They're choosing themselves. Right? All right? Meaning they're choosing people as themselves. It ain't that deep. When I see what somebody is doing and could behaving and whatever, and they're in a relationship with that person, that tells me who they are. That person is controlling and this and that. So the fuck are you? So the fuck are you? I know a woman who expressed her hate for her mother. And her husband always makes slick ass comments about her mother and makes jokes about her mother. So much that he even makes slick comments about his own mother. Oh, okay. You allow him to say these things because y'all both hate your mothers. Okay, got it. See, you gotta pay attention. Now, for any of you young bucks out there, talk to you young grasshoppers out there, if you're listening to me. Let's say right now you like somebody, okay? And just like all these songs, all these R&B songs about some woman that somebody love and they care about, and that woman is coming back telling him all the stuff she going through with this dude and this and that, and he's hopes that she should just be with him and leave that dude. You're wasting your time, young blood. You're wasting your time, young blood. I just want to tell you that. All right? You're wasting your time. And you're wasting your time because she's showing you who she is. No amount of care, love, affection, and attention that you will give her will make her love herself and not go through what she's going through. Because if she's going through it with that person, she's going to go through it with you. It's only a matter of time before it seeps beneath the cracks, and you're going to be going through it with her too. The same thing for that song, If I Was Your Woman. Okay? Again, that man is with the woman he's with because that's who he is. She tears you down and tells you nothing at all. That's the story he's telling, right? That song is horrible. Do not listen to If I Was Your Woman. There is no if I. There is no if I. If it was supposed to be, it would have been. That's how universal laws work. There is no if I. There is no go back and make it get better. It is you can make things better. Sometimes you can come back and it'll be better than before. It'll be better than before. It can happen, but it don't always happen that way. It takes growth to get it that way. None of this stuff is real. Okay? These songs, it's all imagination. It's the Neptunian energy. It's all make believe. That's why the songs are written the way that they are written, because they're not real. Now, you get into punk rock, you get into some metal music, that's where the music gets real. That's where you get into reality. That's where you get into real topics and real things and real situations, real murder cases and stuff put into songs. That's where the reality is in the world of music. Now, I digressed a little bit. Now, let's go a little bit more. Can we go into Risa Tisa? And I tell y'all all the time, and I'm not going to run down that. You can go look that up yourself. Risa Tisa believed everything about Legion because she wanted what Legion was. She want fame. She's on TV, talk about relationships, and nobody's listening. She want attention. She did a 50-part video, Who Did I Marry? Okay? The goddamn series. Okay? She could have put that in a goddamn animated AI video and everybody would have watched it. Could have presented the story to Tyler Perry or some shit. She lied to herself because she worked as a correction officer or something like that, or trooper. She worked as a trooper in Georgia. Everything about him as a lie was everything as like about her that was a lie. The way that Legion lies is the same way that she lies, and most of all lies to herself. That's how you have to look at it through universal laws. That's how the eyes have to see it. And I promise you, when you learn to see it that way, you can't unsee it. And not only can you not unsee it, you just begin to realize, like, oh shit, it was in my face all along who the fuck this person was. It was in my face all along. You understand? It was in my face all along. Who the fuck birthday is April 26th? I don't know. Somebody's birthday is April 26th. I don't know. I was thinking about that. And that's what it was with Risa Tisa and Legion. See? Everybody was laughing and everybody had things to say. And some people couldn't get past the first video. But my thing with the whole Risa Tisa is, because didn't her tire go flat? And everybody was like, that was a sign right there that you should have never been with him then. She attracted him because she was attracting herself. Now, this is a hard one for some of you because if you have a certain type of family member and you see who the family member is with and you see how that person behaves and acts, and you just be like, well, damn, is that who my family member is? You know what I'm saying? Like, then that may be true. The family member may be what that person is. Yeah. Oh, goodness. You know, it's another thing in life where I have I do a lot of self-reflecting, right? I do a lot of looking at what I attract and who I attract and what kind of people I attracted in my life and why did I attract the certain people that I attracted in my life. And I also look at how there were other kind of people who were more like myself that I attracted as well. And there's a lot of things that I had to come to terms with within myself and why I experienced the things that I experienced. Right? So my thing is, I think that, and I'm being for real when I say this, I think that when I look at my own life and I'm beginning to grow into my own life, because I am in a 7 personal cycle right now. Because I go by my birthday, for the numerologist. I don't go by the year, I go by my birthday. So when I hit my next birthday, I'll be in an 8 personal cycle, shit like that. And it goes on and on. But I'm in my 7th cycle. There's been a lot of self-reflection and contemplation, right? And the thing about it is, what I have come to see and learn is people are who they are. And you cross paths with them for a reason. It's not for no reason. Everybody you walk past is with reason. Because you don't know who's thinking about you. You don't know who's plotting on you. You don't know who's watching you. Everybody who you cross paths with is with reason. That person standing behind you in line, even if you don't look at them when they're talking to you, that person behind that register, that person that you see go to work the same time you go to work in your car at that stoplight, that person that you still, people you see at work, everybody around you is with reason. And we all connect with the people in our lives the way we do with reason. I gotta sneeze. I couldn't mute the phone on time. Damn. My bad, headphone users. I hope I went far away from the mic enough. Everybody is with reason. Okay. Check this out though. All right, check this out. I was sitting here and thinking about a lot of things and thinking about, you know, I'm an astrologer. So if I meet certain people at a certain time, I'd be like, oh, they must be a Taurus, they must be Gemini, or they must be Capricorn. And most of the time I'm correct about that, or they must have those aspects in their charts. And that's usually the case with me when I see people at a certain time. I've been like that since fucking 20 years old. And so all these different things. And this is how I self-reflect. And so if it's certain energies, certain people I don't deal with, I navigate, I walk around, I don't deal with it. I'm from the city. I've learned how to maneuver through energies and people and not talking to people. Understand that if you are every day coming outside and you never talk to your neighbor next door, it's with reason. You know why it's with reason? Because it's all vibrational. Everything is vibrational. It don't matter if y'all all live in the slums together. It's all vibrational. Okay. If you're sitting here, this is why I keep telling you, just because you see somebody every day don't mean you know 'em. Just because you see them all the time don't mean you know them. But why is it that people's spirit think that they know people because they see them all the time? You don't know nobody because you see them all. The only way you know somebody is if you get to know somebody or you actually really do know that person, but you really don't know people. And I've been drilling that in your head for the longest. You don't know people. Don't ever believe that you do. Okay. I look back at my life experiences, which wasn't much compared to a lot of people out here as far as the dating world. My dating life experience is very short, very, very short. and empty and spaced out. It's not even a dating life experience. It's just entertaining motherfuckers. Like just entertaining them. That's what it was. And I have to tell you something. I learned a great deal of something with these people. If you find yourself in a flickering minute with somebody, and then you find yourself quickly not dealing with that person anymore, trust them, but I gotta go check my mailbox. Trust and believe is with reason. Okay? Trust and believe that it's with reason. When you sit here and you are talking to somebody, and then somebody hits up your inbox and tell you that they're together with them, that's with reason. When you're supposed to meet somebody online and they bail out on you before you get there, chuck it up as reason and just leave it alone and appreciate it. Because a lot of people didn't get a chance to be let down before their life is over right now. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to fearmonger and I'm not trying to be dramatic here. I want you to think, I want you to hear how I'm thinking. See, these women that are dating these men from prison are more lucky than they realize that they are. The fact that they can date someone from prison that'll come out of prison and not harm them and abuse them the way that they've been abused in prison tells you something. But it also shows me something when I see somebody come from prison from all them years to come out to be abused once again in their marriage. Because that tells me that this person is abusing something about themselves and they're punishing themselves through somebody. You gotta pay attention to this. It's not always bad if someone brings what they say the worst out of you. Because sometimes the worst out of you can be the best out of you. The feelings out of you, the emotions out of you, the insecurities out of you, the things that you may need to face that you're not facing out of you. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when it gets violent and knives and guns and all type of shit get pulled out, then that's different. Okay? That's different. All right? Another thing to understand. I keep pulling out this example because it's obvious I was watching Love After Lockup, and it's obvious I was watching a lot of different things. Excuse me. Ooh, that came out of nowhere. I was watching a lot of other different things. I headphone users got to make a sandwich. That's very obvious, right? And the thing about it is that what I have come to see, I'm going to wrap this up in aluminum foil. What I have come to see, guys, is that is that it all is a matter of what am I trying to say? What is it about yourself that attracted this person? What is it about yourself that attracted this type of relationship, right? Excuse me, headphone users. What is it about yourself that made you say, hey, I like you. Let's be together. Let's do this. What made you say that? What is it about that? Okay? What is it about this thing in your life? For anyone out there that may be the case that you date people in these conditions. So let's just look at it from a spiritual perspective for a minute. All right. I hope y'all guys can hear me over all of this. Let's just look at it from a spiritual perspective. All right. You are in this relationship, right? Okay. With somebody who's in jail. So let's dissect that. Number one, this person is in jail, right? Number two, let me put my vinegar on here. This person is in jail. Okay. Number two, not only is this person in jail, that means that unless this person had a life outside of you, unless this person had enough money to provide for themselves, but see, even people who have that have other people on their side to do it, right? Unless this person got that, then this person doesn't really have much, right? It is said that in prison or jail, the person with the most in their commissary gets respect. If you got a full commissary, that means that you got money. And that's what earns you respect in jail. That's their logic. I just want to put that out there. These people also, depending on their life situation, may not have family or may not had nobody before they went in there, because hence you're dating them, or hence you found them on a prison love site. Most of the time, this is where these women are finding these people. They're finding them on a prison love site. All right. And this is how you have in your relationships. So let's look at that. Number one, you're a controlling fucking person. That's the first thing you need to admit to yourself. You are a controlling person. Number two, you have to admit that something in you knows that you can't pull the same bullshit with somebody as yourself, i.e., degree, certificate, whatever your accolades is. Anybody like that too? You can't pull your bullshit on them. You can't flaunt on them. That's what I'm getting at, right? Now, in no particular order, where the hell are my pants? In no particular order. Number three. Number three. You are somebody who subconsciously does not really want a relationship. Oh, that should have been number one. You subconsciously don't want to have a relationship because why would you date somebody that's in prison? That you've made from why would you date somebody who's not physically there with you? You're no different than somebody dating people online. You're no different than somebody who's dating people online and dating long distance. You're no different. Where the fuck is my trash can? Did he toss my shit? Yeah, he did. Gotta go get it. Okay, it's right here. Headphone again. Yeah, this should be mine. Oh my breath. 1 second. Yeah. So you got that. Then not only is it that you don't truly want a relationship, don't really truly got your shit together. See, you don't truly got your shit together. Meaning that I gotta go dump out this trash, y'all. So I just dumped out trash. I'm dumping out more trash. You don't really got your shit together. And see, if you date somebody in prison, they ain't gonna know you don't got your shit together. See what I'm saying? See, if you try to fake the funk like you really got it together with somebody like yourself, they gonna call out your shit. Right? Well, I don't see my microphone moving. Can y'all hear me? Mic check? Okay. The sun is on it. They ain't gonna know you don't got your shit together. So this person you dating from prison, you can flex like that on them. But you can't flex like that on somebody who know what it is out here. Feel me? You can't flex like that. You can't flex on somebody who already know about what it is that you about. Can't flex on that person. And that right there is all a part of why you find said particular person dealing in a relationship with said person that's in prison. Who in their right mind? Just answer this question, y'all. Who in their right mind would sign up for that? I need to get dressed for work. Shit. If you don't know this person, but you go to a pen pal site, first of all, going to a pen pal site already makes me raise my eyebrow at you. Okay? That makes me raise my eyebrow the fuck at you. All right? To go find love with an inmate. That says enough for me. Because who the fuck do pen pals anymore? A lot of us still do snail mail. I'm not trying to hate on it. I'm just saying. Because we know they can't get emails and shit, but nowadays prisoners can. But anyway, it's another topic. And then on you getting the fucking pen pal site. Oh, it's 40. I got time. You getting on the pen pal site. You're having a relationship with somebody through money. That's control. Conversations. That's control. Because you still have to pay for all this stuff. When they call you and all that, you got to pay for all of that. That's not for free. Hold on, y'all. Yeah. And all this stuff, because you got to pay for that. Oh, this is a nice ice, too. Some good ass ice. And then all this stuff. Huh. Hold on. Yeah, I'm back. You got to pay for that. All this stuff screams control issues. And you know the dangers of being with someone like that? Or someone like you? Because subconsciously you keep having them in this position, they're never going to really get a job if they try. And even if they go out there and get a job, it ain't going to be a good enough job when they try, or it ain't going to be a job that pays enough when they try. Let me text this woman. Okay? When they try. See how it all works? It was a notorious thing online, I remember, where it was women who were like, I'm with this guy and he don't work nowhere. Even a bitch with a stud. I'm with this bitch, she don't work nowhere. She don't do nothing. Da 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 da. And see, I'm so thankful for Kia. Shout out to Kia, man. Shout out to fucking Kia. Kia will always say, them bitches don't really want him to get no job. They don't really want him to get no job. She would say that. And here I am in my adult life saying the same fucking shit. You don't really want them to have a job. You don't really want them, that person really doesn't want them to be successful and have great things. You know why I can talk like that? Because I'm a woman that gets what I want in my relationships. I'm a woman who gets who I want in the relationship. I'm dangerous because I could get what I want, and if I don't want it no more, I toss that shit. That's the woman that I am. And that's the woman I have always been. Okay? But there are some women out here, or people out here, people who just can't seem to get what the fuck they want in a relationship. But they just keep on having relationships, but they don't have a relationship that they want. And they just keep on doing this. And I'm just like, okay, fuck is this? Hold on, y'all. Yeah. And so what was I saying? Yeah. People just can't seem to get what they want in a relationship. They seem to just be so dissatisfied in a relationship. These are people who don't know themselves. I need you to understand. These are people who do not know themselves. They don't know themselves. And another thing, they don't even love themselves. They don't even love themselves. Do I need to say that one louder for those in the back? Because when you know yourself, you know what makes you tick. You know what makes you happy. You know what makes you excited. You know what you love. You know what you hate. When you love yourself, you don't allow yourself to be bothered by whoever is just not working for you. You keep it moving. They're not working for you. They're not it for you. You don't even go too further with them. You just be like, oh, this ain't it. Let's just be friends, or let's just lose each other's number. That's the adult thing that you do. This motherfucking bitch, this, that, and the third. Let me tell y'all something. I have told many of my fucking stories. I even have one that had a nerve to come back. Okay. I even had a friendship where the friend started to get a little bit bossy. Like a little bit bossy, like she was my mama, and all of these things. All right. And all of these things. But why did this happen? Because I have to go back and I have to look at myself. No matter what, I got to go back and look at myself. Got to look at a mentee. I got to look at what needs to grow up within me. I got to look at why I attract what I attract. Got to look at that. Even the friendships that you have in your life are a reflection of yourself. But are you willing to admit that? Are you willing to admit that to yourself? Do you even recognize that about yourself? Are you willing to admit that you are the problem in your relationships, not the other person? There's so many people out here who I have met. Man and man and man and man and man, right? Bitch complain, bitch complain, bitch complain, bitch complain, right? Bitch complain, bitch complain, right? After they bitch and complain about whatever it is that they bitching and complaining about, I slowly get to know that motherfucking person. And this is not limited to any gender, just anybody. I slowly get to know that person. You know what I say to myself? Yeah, I see why. I see why you go through that. There's some people, I have seen them years down the motherfucking line, and they bitching complaining about the same shit that they've been bitching and complaining about since I've known them, since I've met them. You know why? Because they are the bumper clock problem. Okay? They are the bumper clock problem. And they don't want to admit that. They don't want to admit that, and they don't want to see it. Okay? Don't want to admit it, don't want to see it. There are people who, I got to go here. Okay? People who I say they're trouble wherever they go. Wherever they go is trouble, right? But I'm not here to really go down that rabbit hole of it all, right? I'm really not. I'm here to make a point to say, when you're sitting here and you're looking at that woman and you're saying to yourself, well, why is this woman choosing this? Or why is this dude choosing that? Or why this person I like choose to be over there with this over me? I want you to dig deeper than this. I want you to go beneath the surface of that. That's all I'm saying. Go beneath the surface of what you see. I got another example. So one time, I remember this woman. I might have told y'all this story before. Okay. But there was a woman who was an author. And this author She basically, how do I say it? She basically is a very well-to-do author. She was from Georgia, I believe. And she wrote different romance books up. Yeah, it was romance books. I can't remember this woman's name for nothing right now. And I remember this woman, and I remember her because this woman, right? She was bitching about she was bitching about women, men dating women in the projects and Section 8 and this and that. How she got this car and this nice house and this and that. She don't understand why no man would want to be with a woman like her. You know, the typical conversation, you know? The typical, why not me? Why not me conversation, right? And let me tell you something. I'm gonna be very honest with you when I say this to you. When you are a person at a certain caliber of life, and I mean this when I say this, you should not, and I repeat, you should not be questioning. And she was an older woman then. She was about damn near 40-some-year-old woman then. Now that I think about it, you should not be questioning who, what, where, when, why someone does not want you. Okay? You should not be questioning who, what, when, why, or whatever that somebody is not giving you the attention, love, whatever it is that you're seeking for them. You should not be doing that. And I don't like to do should not, because who am I to say what somebody should not be doing? But I'm going to sit here and say, nah, you shouldn't be doing that shit. Not at that time. Not at that caliber of life. Spiritually, I am at a certain caliber of life. The caliber of life for me, right? The caliber of life for me, okay? So then when I look at somebody else and I have my standards and they don't want me, or they're not interested in me, or they choose somebody else, now it depends. Now that's my current partner, which it wouldn't be, then that's a different story, right? But let's just say it's a situation of just dating, the beginning stages of dating. And that person don't choose me and go off somewhere else, then they just went off somewhere else. And 9 times out of 10, or 10 times out of 10, I'm going to know exactly why they chose that person. And I'm going to move on with my life. Why they go choose who they choose. That's where I'm at in my life. That's where I should be in my life at this stage in my life. You hear me? Got so many people. They are still walking around here trying to figure out headphone users on sweeping themselves. You got so many people out here who are still trying to figure out the why. You should know why. You should know why. We're not even getting into the race of a thing. Fuck race right now. We don't give a fuck about race right now. You should know why. You know why you should know why? Because you should know yourself. Because you should know yourself. That's why you should know why. And if you really don't know why, You sit down and find it in yourself why, or you go find other ways to find out why. Correct? As you get older, and I mean this, as you get older, there is no more I don't know. You can't say I don't know anymore. You can't be like I don't know. Well, I don't know. Well, I don't know. You can't say that no more as you get older. You got to know. You got to be sure. Okay? When you get older, you got to be sure. you gotta check it off. And if you for sure don't know, you just sit back and figure it out. This is the answer to how to conduct yourself. This is what happens as you grow and have relationships. You're talking to a woman, you're listening to her, she yamming on about her relationships, she yamming on about things in her life, she yamming on about birth control and all kind of shit. That tells you the mindset of her and the mindset of the motherfuckers that she's dating. Okay? That tells you the mentality that's going on right there. Don't want to have children? Use the proper precautions to not have children, correct? Correct? This, that, and the third, X, Y, and Z, you go back to ABC. Okay? That's how life goes. I'm serious. I'm being dead ass serious when I say this. Another key point to bring up for y'all. Another major key point to bring up for y'all. You know, I have sat back for a long time in my life. All right. And one of the number one key things that I've always realized with people is that they're very big headphone users to blame others. Okay. They're very quick to want to say somebody is at fault for X, Y, and Z in their life, this, that, and the third. And that person may be. Okay? Some of us got some fucked up ass parenting in our lives. And some of us had some fucked up parental examples in our lives. Some of us been betrayed, something awful by them. Okay? But as we're always told, you got to let that shit go. You know why you've been told to let that shit go? Because that shit gonna keep traveling on and on and on in your life. It's gonna create a pattern in your life. It's gonna create a destructive pattern in your life. I'm talking about one that you can't get yourself out of the loop of. All right? You also have to consider, you have to let it go, because you may end up in a relationship with that same thing that has been a part of being a nuisance in your everyday life. And oh boy, that's a karma you don't want. Ask people in relationships that were loveless. It took them 15, 13, 10, 5 years or whatever their lives before they realize what they attracted and what they continue to attract in their lives. Took them years to realize that they were dating the person who essayed them in their relationships, that they were dating that abusive sister, they were dating their abusive mother. Oh boy, that's the most hurtful thing to come into exact realization about. Okay? Oh boy. And that's not nothing that you want. And this is why people are told to let go. This is why people are told to let it go. That's why that song came out for everybody to learn to let go. Okay? This is why we sit here and we have psychologists and therapists that these are the simple things that they tell you. Because these women in these type relationships are not dealing or facing with some inner truth that they got going on. So you have people like Iyanla Vanzant that we roll our eyes at, right? Which is, we're justified in feeling that way, headphone users. At the same time, she does unveil some truths in these people's lives. She does sit down with them and talk to them about things that they do need to sit down with. Like they need to sit down with it. Because you have to be ready for that level of self-reflection. You have to sit down and say to yourself, I'm ready for a relationship. I'm ready to be loved. I'm ready to settle down. I'm ready. You have to say that to yourself. And the moment that you say that to yourself is the moment that it happens for you. But you also have to be ready for what lessons may come. You got to be ready for that too. What lessons may come for you to heal, to be your best self in a relationship for somebody. What lessons may come for you can show up as your best in a relationship with somebody. You understand? These are very key things that you must look upon and that must be paid attention to when you make this decision to be in a relationship. When you make the decision to say, this said person here is somebody that I want to spend my life with or I want to do life with. You have to look into all of that. You have to look into how, I don't even want to roll no blunt right now. I don't feel like I'm taking a chance. You have to look into how you treated people, because sometimes that's the one right there. How you treated yourself, most of all. How did you treat yourself while in these relationships? What was your emotional state? Where was your mind at when you had these relationships? You have to consider all of these things when you're healing and looking and having a relationship with somebody. Even as a poly person, I have to tell you that I think that poly has created me to be way more self-reflective in a relationship while being poly. Poly for me has caused me to be made way more sitting down with seeing how I treat others, how I treat people in relationships, how I treat myself. Just a lot of inner work being in a poly relationship. Just a ton of inner work that I've been doing that. And that's because I've had this dynamic of a relationship. 1 second. Also, it's the dynamic of with being poly is that it has a lot to do with self-love. A lot to do with self-love. And a lot to do with self-care. Poly also, I can go on and on and on about poly. But that's not important right now. 208. That's not important right now. What's important to me right now is that another thing that's key in these relationships. What is this? Something I put together. I can't remember. I think it was this. Put it in here. Another thing to note is that okay. A lot of people don't know what they worth. You know? A lot of people, I repeat, they do not know what they're worth. When you know what you're worth, it falls into why you don't concern yourself about why somebody dates what and do what and don't entertain you. When you have self-worth, you're not going to entertain some motherfuckers playing games from the moment you're dating them and all kind of shit, still playing high school games and shit. You're not going to entertain that when you love yourself. When you have self-worth. I know everybody talk about self-love, but you got to have self-worth. People have to be worthy of your time. People have to be worthy of your space. People have to be worthy of your energy. People have to be worthy. Let me put this up. Of even having the time to talk to you. Or you giving them the time. They have to be worthy. People have to be worthy of you even wanting to take the time to explain shit and talk to them and give a damn. And it's okay. People have to be worthy. But you have to check your life. If you have someone breaking up with you a lot, and you have someone in your life that constantly makes you kind of feel on the edge, like you have to, or in a relationship where you just kind of feel like if you say something wrong, they're gonna walk away, that abandonment issues, they're triggering that. If that's what you're going through, again, this is something that you have to dig inside yourself with. The fuck is that? Come on, crawl on here so I can kill you. This is something that you have to dig inside yourself with. I had to repeat that. Because it's all a reflection of what's going on inside of you. Because you may like it. That part. You may like the feeling of being on your edge and feeling like if you say something wrong, this person may leave you. Because you may have had a reckless mouth in your past relationship that the person stayed, though you was just so goddamn reckless because you wanted them to go. But now the person that's leaving your ass is making you realize how much you want to stay. You have to accept the reality that you may like being in a relationship where you get broken up with a lot of person leaving this, that, and the third, because you may like the act of chasing, because you were always the one being chased and you want to do some chasing. You want to know what it feels like to chase and want somebody and not somebody always wanting you. But like I say, you have to be able to be honest with yourself enough to say that this is who you are. You have to be honest with yourself enough to say that this is who you are. And could you be that honest? Like, could you really be that honest with yourself and admit that, hey, this is who I am, this is what I'm like, and this is what I do? And if you can, then that's awesome. That's fucking awesome. Another thing, a lot of people, how do I say it? A lot of people, give myself 2 more minutes in here. They are very good at, what's the word, y'all? They are good at being professional victims, right? And one thing about a professional victim is they know how to get everybody on their side with their tears and their lies and their drama. And I also learned something about professional victims. Professional victims need control. And a lot of professional victims are very insecure as well. They're very highly insecure people. It's really sad. They're battling some little girl, little boy inside of them. That's what I have seen with people who are professional victims, because a child, it cries and it cries and it gets its ways and it uses tears to get its way and all kind of shit. And that's what the professional victim is to me, is the child that uses tears as a weapon. Another thing, There's a lot of things about yourself you need to be honest with about yourself. Okay. This is going into the burn book now. A lot of things about yourself that you need to be honest with about. And what you need to be honest with about is who you are and what you are and how you move. Gotta be honest. You have to be. See, I know I could be mean, I could be fucked up, I can even be a little evil. Okay. Some may say, no, no, you're not evil. Okay. But I can be. I know that Bella, Bella, where's she at? I also know that I can be controlling. I can have control issues. I know that about myself. I know that deeply about myself. I know that I have a lot of other traits about myself. I know it about myself. But as long as I know that about myself, that's all that matters. Again, that's for the burn book. That's all that matters. But what the problem is, right, is you got people, they don't like for you to call out their stuff. They don't like it. They don't like for you to be like X, Y, and Z and Z, Y, and X, and you do this, that, and the third. They don't like that. Nope, not whatsoever. None whatsoever. Where's my charger? You got people who they will get fucking spiteful if you call out something about them. Even if you do it kindly, if you do it maturely, like, you won't, you do this, that, and the third, and when I say this, you do that. Them type of people that exist, right? But why is that? Oh, this one got I need to go back to Nag Champa. This ain't it. Why is that? Because those are people who don't like correction. They don't like correction. You know what I'm saying? They don't like to be not corrected, excuse me. Correction in the sense of, let me explain. They don't like somebody to show them themselves back to themselves. See, the old friend I had a lot of pain. And I mean a lot of pain. Feel me? They had whatever was sitting inside of them from their life choices or whatever was eating them alive. And so it was getting reflected back to me. It was a projection thing that just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And understand that these things happen when you have people in your life, unless you call it out. And the reason it was getting worse and worse and worse is because this person chose who they truly, let me just say like this, whoever they truly are, They know who they truly are and they know what they be doing, but something in them was breaking down about who they were. Breaking down. And then we have all of these things that play a part of everything else. I have to write it down. Okay. I'll have to write it down because this topic can extend as far as this topic can extend. I'm going to leave it here, y'all. I'm about to bounce. Yeah, man. Should better let me in the stream.